She yelled, "You'll never be good enough for me," in front of her friends. I smiled and said, "You're probably right." Then I walked out, got in my car, and drove away. Later that night, her friends messaged me what they told her after I left. Sup, Reddit. My girlfriend told me I'd never be good enough for her, in front of all her friends at some birthday dinner. I smiled, said, "You're probably right," and walked out. 3 months later, she's living with her parents, and I just got promoted. Here's how it went down. Buckle up because this is going to be a long ride. My name's Jake. I'm 32, and I run my own electrical contracting business here in Chicago. Started from the bottom like most of us do. Got my apprentice license at 19, spent 6 years working under this old school electrician named Ray, who taught me everything. The guy was a legend in the trade. Taught me how to run conduit in my sleep, how to read blueprints like a novel, how to bid jobs accurately, and most importantly, how to treat clients right so they keep calling you back. Those first 6 years were brutal. 70-hour weeks minimum. Summer days in attics that felt like 130 degrees. Winter mornings in unheated buildings where my fingers would go numb. Crawling through tight spaces that made my back scream. Getting shocked more times than I can count because I was learning the hard way. Ray didn't believe in coddling apprentices. You learned by doing, and you learned fast, or you found another trade. But I loved it. There's something satisfying about taking a building with no power and making everything work. Flipping that breaker and watching lights come on for the first time. Knowing that every outlet, every switch, every circuit is done right because you did it yourself. By 25, I had my master electrician license and enough savings to start my own operation. Took out a small business loan for $35,000, bought a used truck and basic equipment, and started hustling. Called every contractor I knew. Underbid jobs just to build my reputation. Worked 16-hour days. Answered my phone at midnight if a client had an emergency. Built my business one job at a time, one satisfied customer at a time. The first 2 years, I barely broke even. Some months, I wasn't sure I'd make payroll for the one apprentice I'd hired. Lived off ramen and peanut butter sandwiches to keep the business afloat. Ray told me that's how it goes. First year you survive. Second year you stabilize. Third year you thrive. He was right. Year 3, things clicked. Word of mouth brought bigger jobs. Commercial contracts started coming in. I hired a second apprentice. Bought a second truck. Started making actual money instead of just scraping by. Fast forward to now. I've got 3 trucks, 2 apprentices, and enough steady commercial contracts to clear around $180,000 a year after expenses. I'm not rolling in cash, but I'm doing solid. Own my own house in North Center. A 3-bedroom bungalow I bought in 2019 for $340,000. It's worth about $425,000 now. Paid off my 2016 Ford F-150 work truck 2 years ago. Got about $95,000 saved up between my business account, emergency fund, and retirement. My shop is a 1,200 square foot space in an industrial area where I store equipment, inventory, and do small repair work. Lease is reasonable at $1,800 a month. I've got about $45,000 worth of tools and equipment. Wire spools, conduit benders, cable pullers, voltage testers, power tools, ladders, scaffolding. Everything organized and inventoried because I learned early that disorganization costs money. Here's the thing that matters. I learned early from watching my uncle go through a brutal divorce. He built a successful HVAC business, got married, never protected anything legally, lost half his company in the split. I remember sitting at his kitchen table when I was 23, watching him explain how he had to sell off 2 of his vans and let go of an employee just to pay the settlement. That stuck with me hard. So when I started my business, I kept everything in my name. Separate accounts, documentation for every asset, my house, my trucks, my tools, my client list, all mine. I'm not stupid about this stuff. Now, the relationship. I'd been dating Vanessa for 3 years. Met her in May 2021 at a buddy's birthday party. She was working as a marketing coordinator for some mid-tier beauty brand, making around $55,000. Pretty girl, funny, seemed down to earth. We hit it off immediately. The first year was genuinely great. We'd spend weekends exploring different neighborhoods, hitting up small restaurants, going to free concerts in Millennium Park. She never complained about my truck, or that I'd show up to dates in work boots and Carhartt pants because I came straight from a job site. She seemed to appreciate that I worked hard for what I had. I remember one time, maybe 4 months in, we were at this taco place on Milwaukee Avenue. Nothing fancy, plastic chairs and paper plates. My hands were still dirty from a job because I'd cleaned up as best I could, but electrical work leaves its mark. She grabbed my hands, looked at the calluses and small cuts, and said, "These are hands that build things." I respect that. That moment stuck with me, made me think she got it, that she understood the value of hard work over flash. We talked about real future stuff, moving in together eventually, maybe getting a dog, taking a trip to Ireland when we'd saved enough. She wanted to see the cliffs of Moher. I wanted to hit the pubs in Dublin. We had a shared travel fund where we'd each put in $200 a month. By our first anniversary, we had almost $5,000 saved. It felt solid, like we were building something that made sense. Not rushed, not forced. Just two people who enjoyed each other's company and wanted to build a future together. Her apartment was smaller than mine, a studio in Lakeview that ran her $1,100 a month. She decorated it nice, though. Plants everywhere, string lights, photos on the walls. It felt lived in and comfortable. We'd alternate staying at each other's places. She'd come to mine when she wanted space. I'd go to hers when she wanted cozy. Sex was good. Not going to get graphic here, but we had chemistry. She'd leave little notes in my truck before work. I'd surprise her with her favorite coffee on my way to her place. Normal relationship stuff that felt genuine. My best friend Chris has known me since trade school. We went through our apprenticeships together, and now he runs his own plumbing business. He's the kind of guy who tells you the truth even when you don't want to hear it. Around month 8 of my relationship with Vanessa, we were grabbing lunch between jobs, and he said something I should have paid more attention to. "She asks a lot of questions about your business finances," Chris mentioned, biting into his sandwich. "Like every time I see you guys together, she's asking what you cleared that month or what some commercial job paid." I brushed it off. "She's just interested in what I do." Chris gave me that look. "Maybe. Just saying, my ex did the same thing before she started comparing me to her friends' boyfriends." I should have listened. Things started shifting around 6 months ago. Small stuff at first. We'd be watching some travel show, and Vanessa would say, "Wouldn't it be amazing to stay at a place like that?" I'd laugh and say, "Maybe in a couple years when the business grows more." She'd get quiet, smile fading, or we'd be scrolling through Instagram, and she'd stop on posts of engagement rings, designer handbags, vacation photos from the Maldives. She'd linger on those posts way longer than normal, studying them like a textbook. Then there were her friends, Nicole, Jess, and Amanda. We'd meet up with them maybe twice a month, and every single time, the conversation became a competition about money. Nicole's boyfriend bought her a Tiffany bracelet. Jess's boyfriend surprised her with a weekend trip to Cabo. Amanda's boyfriend leased her a BMW for her birthday. Every time, Vanessa would come home quieter than usual. Distant. 3 months ago, she started pulling away hard, less texting during the day. When I'd send her photos from job sites or tell her about something funny that happened with one of my apprentices, I'd get one-word responses hours later. More "I'm tired" when I wanted to come over after work. Our Friday date nights became every other Friday, then once a month. When I finally confronted her on a Tuesday night in mid-July, sitting in my living room with Chinese takeout getting cold between us, she dropped it on me. "I just feel like we're not progressing," she said, not looking at me. "Like, where's this relationship actually going?" I told her straight up. I loved her. I was actively saving for a bigger house. I wanted a real future with her. I was planning to propose within the year. I even showed her my savings spreadsheet, my business growth projections, my timeline for expansion. She nodded slowly, but her eyes looked past me, like she was already somewhere else mentally, like my plan wasn't good enough or fast enough. 2 weeks ago, everything exploded. Saturday night, August 24th. Vanessa invited me to Amanda's 28th birthday dinner at this upscale Italian place downtown called Mirasol, the kind with cloth napkins and a wine list thicker than a phone book. I wore a navy button-down and dark slacks. Nothing fancy, but clean and presentable. When I arrived at 7:30, Vanessa barely acknowledged me. She was already deep into conversation with her friends at the bar, laughing loud. I felt invisible. The restaurant was packed, candles flickering on every table, soft jazz playing. Our group had a long table near the window overlooking the Chicago River. I sat at the end next to Vanessa, who immediately turned to Jess on her other side. They started talking about some influencer drama I couldn't care less about. I ordered water and tried making conversation with Brad, Amanda's boyfriend, about the Bears' terrible season. He was polite enough but kept checking his phone. Halfway through dinner, after the appetizers arrived, bruschetta and calamari that cost $24 each, Brad started talking about the Tesla Model S he'd just bought. Brand new, fully loaded, $95,000. Everyone reacted like he'd announced he won the lottery. He pulled out his phone, showing off pictures of the white exterior, the massive touchscreen dashboard, the autopilot features. That's incredible, man, said Nicole's boyfriend Jason. I'm looking at the Model X myself. Those falcon wing doors are sick. Then Jess's boyfriend mentioned he'd just closed on a 2-bedroom condo in River North. Got it for $480,000, but with the neighborhood development, it'll be worth $600,000 in 3 years easy. Nicole's boyfriend worked at some tech startup and started going on about his company's stock options. If we IPO next year, I'm looking at a potential $200,000 bonus minimum. I stayed quiet. I'm not a flashy guy. I don't need to wave my bank account around to feel good about myself. I was cutting into my chicken parmesan, which was actually pretty good, minding my own business. Then Vanessa said it. Yeah, well, Jake's still driving his work truck everywhere. The table went quiet for a second. Then everyone laughed. Not mean laughter exactly, just awkward chuckles filling uncomfortable silence. But it stung. I looked directly at her, fork still in my hand. It's paid off. No debt, no monthly payments. She rolled her eyes. That's not the flex you think it is, babe. I felt my chest tighten, but I kept my expression neutral. Set my fork down carefully. Excuse me. Need to use the restroom. I walked past the bar, past couples enjoying their meals, into the bathroom. Splashed cold water on my face. Stared at myself in the mirror under harsh fluorescent lights. Told myself to let it go. She was just showing off for her friends. We'd talk about it tomorrow. But when I came back to the table, weaving through waitstaff carrying trays of pasta, I overheard her. She was leaning toward Amanda, voice low but not low enough. I just don't see him ever being at the level I want, you know? He's comfortable being mediocre. No real ambition to level up. Content with good enough. I stood there frozen, 3 feet behind her chair, hand gripping the back of an empty seat. Mediocre. No ambition. Those words from someone who claimed to love me. I walked back around, sat down, and didn't say another word for the rest of dinner. Smiled politely when spoken to. Nodded when appropriate. Counted the minutes until we could leave. The dessert course felt like it lasted hours. Tiramisu and espresso that I barely touched. Finally, around 10:15, people started getting up to leave. Vanessa was talking about going to some rooftop bar with the girls. I stood up, pulled out my wallet, and put down $85 cash for my portion of the meal plus tip. Then I looked at Vanessa. Really looked at her. She was mid-sentence telling Jess about some club they should check out next weekend. Hey, Vanessa, I said calmly. She turned, annoyed at the interruption. Yeah? You're probably right, I said. I'll never be good enough for you. Her face shifted. Confusion. Then something like panic. Wait, what? Good luck with everything. I nodded to the table. Nice seeing you all. I walked out of that restaurant and didn't look back. Got in my truck, drove home in complete silence. No music, just the sound of Chicago traffic and my own thoughts. When I got home, I sat in my driveway for about 20 minutes. Just thinking. Processing. The words kept repeating in my head. Mediocre. No ambition. Content with good enough. Then something clicked. Cold clarity. I wasn't sad. I was done. I went inside, made myself a sandwich because I barely ate at dinner, and started thinking strategically. See, here's what most people don't understand about situations like this. Emotion makes you weak. Emotion makes you beg, plead, try to change someone's mind. That's exactly what they expect. But I learned from my uncle's mistake. Document everything. Protect yourself. Act, don't react. First thing I did was check our digital footprint. We weren't living together, thank God, but we had some shared subscriptions. Netflix, Spotify, a meal kit service. I grabbed my laptop and started documenting what was in my name versus hers. Netflix, my account. My credit card, she was just a profile. Spotify, family plan in my name, $15.99 a month. Meal kit, HelloFresh. My card, shipped to my address. Amazon Prime, mine. She used my login. Then I went through my phone, scrolled back through texts from the past 3 months. Screenshots of every comment she'd made about money, every complaint about my truck, every comparison to her friends' relationships. Saved them all to a folder on my computer labeled Documentation. I know it sounds paranoid, but I've seen guys get blindsided in breakups. The girl rewrites history, tells everyone he was controlling or neglectful or cheap. I wanted receipts of exactly who said what. Proof that I was a good partner who got dumped for not making enough money. I went through our photos together. Saved the good ones to a separate folder, not because I wanted to keep them for sentimental reasons, but because I wanted evidence of how good I was to her. Trips we took, dinners I paid for, birthday presents I bought, Valentine's Day, when I got her flowers and cooked dinner at my place. Then I started a spreadsheet. Every dollar I'd spent on the relationship over 3 years. Date nights, birthday gifts, Christmas presents, her share of trips I covered, dinners with her friends where I picked up the check, came out to about $18,500. Not that I wanted the money back. Just wanted to remind myself that I'd invested plenty in this relationship, that I wasn't the cheap, unambitious guy she was making me out to be. Next, I texted Chris. You free tomorrow morning? Need to talk. He responded within 5 minutes. Coffee at 8? What happened? Tell you tomorrow. Then I did something that felt cold but necessary. I went through Vanessa's social media from my account one last time before I'd block her. Saved screenshots of posts where she talked about how happy she was with me. Posts from our trips together with captions like best partner ever and so grateful for this man. I wanted proof of what we had before it turned. Proof that I wasn't imagining the good times. Proof that she'd publicly claimed I was enough before deciding privately that I wasn't. By midnight, I had everything organized. 3 folders on my computer. Documentation, evidence, and financial records. Backed up to the cloud. Printed out and stored in a file at my house. Paranoid? Maybe. But protected? Absolutely. That night, I barely slept. Not because I was heartbroken, because my mind was already 3 steps ahead, planning. Sunday morning, I met Chris at our usual spot, this diner on Milwaukee Avenue. He took one look at my face and knew. She messed up, he said. Not a question. I told him everything. The dinner, the comments, the overheard conversation, what I said when I left. Chris listened, occasionally shaking his head. When I finished, he sat back. So what's your play? Complete cut, I said. Clean break. No explanation, no closure conversation, nothing. She's gonna lose her mind, Chris said. Girls like that expect you to chase them, beg them to reconsider. Exactly, which is why I'm not doing it. What about her stuff at your place? I'd already thought about it. She's got maybe $200 worth of things. Toothbrush, some clothes, a hairdryer. I'll box it up, drop it at her apartment when she's at work. Chris grinned. Cold. I respect it. You taught me that, I said. Remember what you told me when your ex tried coming back? Self-respect isn't negotiable. Facts. Chris raised his coffee mug. To self-respect. By Sunday afternoon, Vanessa started texting. Can we talk? I'm sorry about last night. I was stressed and took it out on you. Please don't shut me out like this. I didn't respond to any of them. Monday morning, I went to her apartment complex while she was at work. She'd given me a key months ago, which I dropped in an envelope on the front desk, along with a box containing all her belongings from my house. Included a note. Everything's here. Key included. Take care. That's it. No emotion. No explanation. Just facts. Then I blocked her number. Blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, everything. Removed her from my Netflix and Spotify accounts. Canceled the meal kit service. Tuesday, her friend Nicole called me from a different number. I answered because I didn't recognize it. Jake, what the hell happened? Vanessa's freaking out. She told you what she said at dinner? Silence. She said you overreacted and left. That's one version. Here's mine. I told Nicole the whole thing. The public humiliation, the overheard conversation, all of it. More silence. Then, oh my God, she didn't tell us that part. Course not. Tell her if she needs anything else, she can text Chris and he'll relay it. We're done. I hung up. Wednesday, Vanessa showed up at a job site I was working. Commercial building in the Loop, rewiring the 3rd floor. I was up on a ladder running conduit when one of my apprentices came over. Boss, there's a woman here asking for you. I climbed down, saw Vanessa standing near the entrance in her work clothes. She looked like she'd been crying. Jake, please. Can we just talk for 5 minutes? Nothing to talk about, I said, putting my tools down. You said what you meant. I heard you. Now we both move on. I didn't mean it like that. I was just venting to Amanda. Everyone complains about their relationship sometimes. Complaining is he leaves dishes in the sink. What you said was different. Her face shifted, anger replacing the fake sadness. So that's it? 3 years and you're just done? You were done first, I said calmly. I'm just acknowledging it. This is ridiculous. You're being childish. There it was. The real her coming out. Vanessa, you publicly humiliated me, called me mediocre to your friends, and made it clear I'm not enough for you. I'm not going to beg you to reconsider. I have too much self-respect for that. I never said I wanted to break up. You didn't have to. Your words did it for you. I grabbed my drill. I've got work to finish. You should go. Jake, Vanessa. I looked her dead in the eye. I'm done. Actually done. Nothing you say is going to change that. You wanted more, go get more, just not with me. She stood there for another few seconds, then turned and left. My apprentice watched her go. Ex-girlfriend? He asked. Yep. Cold exit, boss. Only way to do it. By Thursday, the texts started coming from different numbers. Her friends trying to advocate for her. I blocked each one after reading the first message. No responses. Just blocks. Friday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered, Jake? It's Amanda. Amanda, what can I do for you? Look, I know you're mad at Vanessa, but she's really struggling. She's been crying all week. That's unfortunate. Come on, man, don't be like that. She made a mistake. She knows she messed up. Amanda, with all due respect, she didn't make a mistake. She revealed how she actually feels. There's a difference. She loves you. If that's love, I don't want it. I kept my voice steady. She disrespected me publicly, talked behind my back about my ambition and my worth. That's not love. That's contempt. And I don't negotiate with contempt. Amanda sighed. You're really not going to give her another chance? Why would I? So in 6 months she can compare me to the next guy making more money? So I can spend the rest of our relationship trying to prove I'm enough? Pass. She's different now. It's been 4 days, Amanda. People don't change in 4 days. They just get better at hiding who they are. I could hear voices in the background. Then Amanda's voice, muffled like she covered the phone. He's not budging. I tried. Yeah, I know. Is she there with you right now? I asked. Silence. Then, yeah. Tell her she made her choice. Now she lives with it. And tell her if anyone else calls me from a random number, I'm changing mine. I hung up. Week 2 was when things got interesting. Chris texted me. Bro, you see Vanessa's Instagram? I blocked her, I reminded him. Check from my account. I logged into Chris's Instagram, found Vanessa's profile. She'd posted a long caption over a photo of a sunset. Sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's gone. Grateful for the lessons learned and the growth ahead. Choose people who choose you. Know your worth. I showed Chris. She's posting cryptic breakup quotes already. Classic, he said. Making herself the victim. Watch, she'll have a new dude in a month. Bet. Some guy with money who'll check all her boxes. I was right. 2 weeks after our breakup, I heard through mutual friends that Vanessa was seeing someone new. Tyler. Some financial advisor who drove a Mercedes and wore expensive suits. Made good money, apparently. Worked at one of those wealth management firms downtown. Nicole called me from her actual number this time, and I answered because I was curious what she'd say. Just wanted to give you a heads up, Nicole said. Vanessa's dating Tyler. Cool. Good for her. You're not upset? Why would I be? She wanted someone at a different level. She found him. That's how it works. Jess and I think she's moving way too fast. It's only been 2 weeks. Not my problem anymore, Nicole. I know, but between us, I think she's trying to prove something. She keeps posting photos with Tyler, and it feels forced. People do weird things after breakups. I was testing some wiring in my garage while talking. She's living her life. I'm living mine. How are you doing? Honestly? Better. Working a lot. Gym 5 days a week. Hanging with Chris. No drama. Nicole paused. You sound good. I am good. After we hung up, Chris came over with a case of energy drinks. We were doing an inventory of supplies for a big commercial job coming up. You really don't care about her dating? Chris asked while we were counting boxes of wire nuts. Nope. She wanted the luxury life. Now she's got it. My life's easier without constantly feeling like I'm not enough. Facts. You dodged one, brother. Month 2 is when I started noticing the changes in my own life. First, the obvious stuff. Without the constant stress of trying to meet someone's shifting expectations, I was sleeping better. Actually sleeping through the night instead of waking up at 3 a.m., wondering if I was doing enough, earning enough, being enough, working smarter too. My focus improved dramatically. Jobs that used to take me 8 hours were getting done in 6. I was catching mistakes before they happened, estimating jobs more accurately. My senior apprentice, Luis, noticed immediately. Boss, you're on fire lately, he said, while we were pulling wire through a new office building. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. What I was doing was focusing on what I could control. My work, my health, my future. Not trying to live up to someone else's impossible standards. My business had a record month in September. Cleared $22,000 profit after all expenses. Landed 2 new commercial contracts worth about $85,000 combined. A property management company and a school district that needed electrical upgrades across multiple buildings. The school contract alone was going to keep me busy for 6 months. Rewiring old buildings, upgrading panels, installing new lighting systems. The kind of steady work that builds a solid business foundation. I joined a gym near my house, started going every morning at 5:30 before jobs. Lost 18 pounds in the first 6 weeks. Put on muscle. Felt strong for the first time in years. Started tracking my lifts, watching my form, actually caring about my health instead of just existing. Reconnected with my college buddies too. Mike, Tony, and Dave. We started playing basketball on Wednesday nights at the Park District. Just guys being guys, talking trash, keeping it simple. No relationship drama, no status competitions, just hoops and friendship. One Wednesday night after we finished playing, Mike asked about Vanessa. Word had gotten around about the breakup. You doing okay? Mike asked while we sat on the bleachers, cooling down. Better than okay, I said. Best I've felt in months. For real? You were together 3 years. Yeah, and the last 6 months were exhausting. Constantly feeling like I wasn't measuring up. Now I don't have to worry about that. Tony nodded. I remember you mentioning she was getting weird about money. Understatement. Turned into a whole thing. But I'm better off now. Any regrets? Dave asked. I thought about it. Only that I didn't see it coming sooner. But nah, no regrets about walking away. The second month was also when Vanessa's new relationship started showing cracks. Nicole called me one evening. Can I tell you something about Vanessa? Not to make you feel bad, just to let you know we see what happened now. Go ahead. We all went to dinner last weekend. Vanessa brought Tyler. And dude, that guy is something else. He spent the entire meal on his phone doing work emails, ordered for Vanessa without asking what she wanted. And when she tried talking about her job, he literally said, "That's nice, honey," and went back to his phone. Sounds charming. It gets worse. He kept making these comments about her clothes, her career, her friends. Like, you should dress more sophisticated, and you should network with more important people. It was gross. I didn't say anything. Amanda saw them at dinner on Tuesday, Nicole continued. Tyler was on his phone the whole time again. Didn't even look at Vanessa. Just kept ordering for her without asking. His style. There's more. Amanda ran into Vanessa at Target yesterday. Vanessa tried acting happy, showing off this Gucci bag Tyler bought her. But Amanda said her eyes looked dead, and Vanessa mentioned that Tyler wants her to quit her marketing job because it's beneath the lifestyle he's building. So he wants her unemployed and dependent on him. Exactly. And when Amanda asked if she was happy, Vanessa just changed the subject. Started talking about some charity gala Tyler's taking her to and how she needs to buy a $2,000 dress. I shook my head even though Nicole couldn't see. That's her choice. She wanted the luxury lifestyle. Now she's got it. I know, but I feel bad. We all do. She threw away something real for this fake garbage. Anyway, I just wanted you to know. Also, Amanda's having a small get-together in 2 weeks if you want to come. Just close friends. Vanessa won't be there. I'll think about it. Thanks for the heads up. After we hung up, I sat thinking. Part of me felt vindicated. Vanessa chose money and status over real connection. Now she was realizing that money can't buy happiness or genuine love. But mostly, I felt indifferent. She made her bed. Month 3, early November. My life completely turned around. First, the business side. I got a huge opportunity. A property management company I'd been trying to work with for 2 years finally gave me a contract. 15 commercial buildings needing electrical maintenance and upgrades. $240,000 contract over 18 months. I had to hire another electrician and a 4th apprentice. Bought a new work truck. My projected income for next year is looking like $225,000 after expenses. Not bad for a guy with no ambition. I've been crushing it at the gym. Down 23 pounds total. Running a 5K every Saturday morning. Actually feel healthy and strong for the first time since my 20s. I went to Amanda's get-together 2 weeks ago. About 15 people. Good food. No drama. Nicole, Jess, and Amanda have all been incredibly supportive. Turns out they completely cut ties with Vanessa over what happened. She kept trying to justify her choices, Jess explained. Said you weren't ambitious enough, that she needed more. We weren't having it. Amanda pulled me aside during the party. I need to tell you something about Vanessa. It's bad. What happened? Tyler dumped her last week, completely out of nowhere. She called me crying at 2 in the morning. Apparently he met someone at his firm, some lawyer who went to Yale. Just straight up told Vanessa they were done. Said the new girl was more aligned with his professional trajectory or some garbage like that. Wow, that's cold even for a guy like him. It gets worse. He kicked her out of his place the same night. She had to call a ride at midnight with her stuff in trash bags because he wouldn't let her stay until morning. And remember that Gucci bag? He took it back. Said it was technically his property since he bought it. I felt a tiny pang of sympathy, but it faded quickly. What's she doing now? Living with her parents in the suburbs? She had to leave her apartment because she'd quit her job like Tyler wanted. No income. She's applying to jobs, but having a 3-month employment gap is making it hard, basically starting over from scratch. That's rough. She tried reaching out to all of us to apologize, but honestly, we're done. You don't treat people like that and expect everyone to welcome you back. Amanda lowered her voice. And between you and me, she asked Nicole if you were seeing anyone. Nicole told her it was none of her business. I smiled at that. Good. Last week, I got a text from an unknown number. I should have ignored it, but curiosity got me. Jake, it's Vanessa. I know you blocked me. I don't blame you. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Tyler and I broke up. I was so stupid and shallow. I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me. You were right about everything. I miss you so much. I miss us. Is there any chance we could talk? Even just for coffee? I need to apologize properly. I'm so sorry. I stared at that message for about 30 seconds. Thought about everything we'd been through. The good times and the bad. Who she was when we met versus who she became. Then I deleted the message and blocked the number. I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan or safety net. I'm not interested in being the guy she settles for after the luxury lifestyle didn't work out. I deserve someone who sees my worth from the beginning, not someone who only realizes it after they've lost it. Yesterday, I matched with someone on Hinge. Her name's Rachel. She's a nurse. Drives a Honda. Her profile says she values authenticity and hard work. We're getting coffee this Sunday. Not expecting anything, but I'm open to possibilities. As for Vanessa, I heard through Nicole that she's back on dating apps. Still living with her parents, working as a contract social media manager for like $40,000 a year. She apparently posts a lot of inspirational quotes about knowing your worth and not settling. Nicole finds that hilarious given the circumstances. I don't wish her harm. I don't wish her well either. I just don't think about her anymore. I'm focused on my own life, my own growth, my own future. And honestly, it feels pretty damn good. A lot of people might ask if I ever really loved her. I did. Deeply. But love isn't enough when someone fundamentally doesn't respect you or value what you bring to the relationship. Love without respect is just attachment, and attachment without respect becomes resentment. Some people say I should have fought harder. Why? So she could resent me for not being wealthy enough? So I could spend years trying to prove my worth to someone who already decided I wasn't enough? So I could constantly compete with her friends' relationships and come up short every time? Pass. Would I take her back if she apologized again? Absolutely not. I'm nobody's backup plan or safety net. The fact that she only wants me back after Tyler dumped her tells me everything I need to know. She doesn't want me. She wants the stability and respect I gave her. She wants the guy who treated her well after experiencing the guy who treated her like an accessory. But that's not love. That's convenience. The coffee date with Rachel went really well. We talked for 3 hours at this spot near her hospital. She's been a nurse for 6 years, loves her job even though it's exhausting, drives a 2014 Civic that she's planning to drive until it dies, thinks people who lease luxury cars they can't afford are hilarious. When I told her I run an electrical business, she asked real questions about it. What kind of projects I work on, how I got started, what my goals are. Not how much I make or what I drive. We're getting dinner next week, taking it slow. But I'm optimistic. I ran into Vanessa's mom at the grocery store last week. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me. Jake, she said quietly. How are you? Doing great, Mrs. Patterson. You? We're okay. She paused. Vanessa's been going through a difficult time. I heard. I'm sorry to hear that. She made some poor choices. I want you to know her father and I always thought you were good for her. I nodded. I appreciate that. Is there any chance you two might talk? I don't think that's a good idea, Mrs. Patterson, but I wish her the best. Mrs. Patterson looked like she wanted to say more but just nodded. You always were a good man, Jake. I hope you find someone who appreciates that. Thank you. I walked away feeling nothing. No anger, no sadness, no regret. Just the quiet confidence of knowing I made the right choice. Chris called me yesterday. Bro, I'm proud of you. You handled that whole situation perfectly. Learn from the best, I said. You taught me self-respect isn't negotiable. Facts. And look at you now. Business booming. Getting fit. Dating someone who seems cool. Meanwhile, Vanessa's posting sad quotes on Instagram. What goes around comes around. Truth. Hey, we still on for basketball Wednesday? Wouldn't miss it. The thing is, I get why people stay in relationships that aren't working. Fear of being alone. Hope that things will change. Investment in the time already spent. I felt all of that in the weeks after I walked out of that restaurant. But then I realized something. The relationship was already over. It ended the moment she called me mediocre to her friends. The moment she decided I wasn't enough. The moment she started measuring my worth against other guys' bank accounts. I just had the self-respect to acknowledge it. Walking away wasn't giving up on love. It was choosing self-respect over settling. It was refusing to spend my life trying to prove my worth to someone who'd already decided it wasn't enough. Some bridges you burn. Some bridges you just stop crossing. Either way, you move forward. 3 months ago, I was sitting in an expensive restaurant getting publicly humiliated by someone who claimed to love me. Today, I'm running a successful business, in the best shape of my life, and going on dates with someone who values substance over status. Vanessa wanted more. She got exactly what she asked for. A guy with money who treated her like an accessory. Meanwhile, I got exactly what I needed. Freedom from someone who couldn't see my value. The universe has a funny way of giving people exactly what they think they want, then showing them what they actually needed. I'm nobody's placeholder. I'm nobody's backup plan. I'm nobody's safety net. I'm just a guy who knows his worth. And I refuse to negotiate that with anyone. Life's too short to spend it with people who make you feel like you're not enough. I learned that lesson at an expensive Italian restaurant on a Saturday night in August. Best $85 I ever spent. Rachel texted me this morning. Looking forward to dinner Friday. Any place you'd recommend? I smiled. There's this great spot in North Center. Nothing fancy, but the food's amazing. Sound good? Perfect. I'm more about good food than fancy restaurants anyway. That right there. That's the difference. I'm done chasing people who need to be convinced of my value. I'm done with relationships that feel like job interviews. I'm done trying to compete with fantasy versions of life people see on Instagram. I'm just living my life, building my business, staying healthy, spending time with people who actually give a damn about me, dating someone who asks real questions instead of measuring my worth by my watch or my car. Vanessa taught me a valuable lesson. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When someone tells you you're not enough, thank them for their honesty and move on. 3 months ago, I walked out of a restaurant. Today, I'm walking into a life I actually want to live. That's not revenge. That's just self-respect. And self-respect, as Chris always says, isn't negotiable. Update, because people keep asking, yes, the second date with Rachel went great. We're taking things slow, but there's something genuine there. She met Chris and his girlfriend last weekend. They approve. Vanessa's still living with her parents from what I hear. Still posting inspirational quotes. Still trying to rebuild her career. I hope she figures it out. I really do. Not because I want her back. Not because I care about the relationship we had. But because I believe everyone deserves the chance to learn from their mistakes and become better. I just won't be there to witness it. My business just got another commercial contract. $180,000 over the next year. I'm looking at hiring a full journeyman electrician to help manage the workload. The house is paid down more. The trucks are running great. The savings account keeps growing. But the best part? I'm happy. Actually happy. Not stressed, not anxious, not constantly wondering if I'm measuring up. Just happy. That's the real win. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.